At what point should I refill my Pilot Metropolitan? I paraphrase your question a little bit, Michael. Hope you don't mind. I can usually tell a page or two before the pen runs out of ink that it's running low. I usually just apply a bit more pressure and continue writing until it's completely out of ink. Is this okay, or should I refill before it's completely out? Okay, so this is tough with pens like the Metropolitan where you really can't see the ink level. I totally get where you're coming from. I do the same thing. One thing that you can do with that specific pen, you could get a Pilot Con 50 converter, which is clear and it allows you to see your ink level. That's just a little aside that you can have there. It doesn't really help your issue too much. But basically, you're asking me, should you press harder when you start to run out of ink to get more ink out of there? If you're doing that a lot, I don't know exactly how much pressure you're using. It might not be that much, it might be a lot, I don't know. But if you're using a decent amount of pressure to try to force that ink out, eventually you're gonna spread those tines on the nib too much, and it's going to start to write even wetter, even broader. I'm not going to say it's going to ruin your nib. I mean, you certainly can ruin your nib, but just over time, and probably not that long of a period of time, you know, depending on how much you're using the pen, it's going to write noticeably broader and wetter than when you first got it. So generally speaking, it's not good to flex that out too much unless you have a really good reason, and you're prepared for kind of that risk, I guess, of the writing broader. So basically, you need to learn the pen, you know, and using that one pen for a regular basis will kind of help, because you'll get to know about how long you can go with kind of your normal writing. Assuming you're writing somewhat consistently week to week, you can get an idea for how long you can go in between fillings. And then maybe you can come up with some kind of like a little ritual, if you will, for filling it on a regular basis. And then you don't have to kind of run into this like running on fumes kind of situation. So, you know, generally speaking, unless you're writing a lot, filling a pen once a week is usually okay. If you have really absorbent paper, or if you're taking a lot of notes, or the pen writes really wet, or there could be a lot of reasons why you do more than that, but maybe it could be twice a week, maybe whatever. But you could just have kind of a ritual of like, you know, if you're going to class, if you're in school and you're going to class for the week and you know you're going to need your pen, so like ink up your pen, clean it out, whatever, on Sunday night. That way you're ready to go Monday, fresh pen. Maybe if you need to do a refill on Wednesday or something like that, you could incorporate that into your ritual as well. I personally kind of recommend, especially if you're using one color continuously, to have a more kind of ritualized aspect to refilling your pen, as opposed to kind of running on fumes and then, you know, pressing hard on the nib and then kind of running out mid-sentence and then switching pens or refilling at that time or whatever. Now that said, that's what I recommend, but me personally, I don't really do that. My life is not regular enough to where I'm able to really do that. I change my ink colors all the time. I have all these different pens. So my approach has become, I'm going to carry like 7 different pens, and if one starts to run out of ink, I just put it away, grab another one, just have a backup pen, and I do that. And honestly, sometimes I'm carrying like 4 pens, and it's like, ah, crap, this one's out, but you know, and I need to, you know, clean it out and all that stuff. So, you know, I'm not the most like religious about filling and cleaning my pens as much as I recommend other people do it. And, you know, so it's totally okay if you don't do that. This is just kind of what might help you if you are kind of doing that. Me personally, I just carry a bunch of different pens. I carry a couple of small vials of ink that I can use to refill as well, especially for the pens. You know, I have certain pens that I use regularly, you know, one type of ink. Custom 74 is like that. It's rare that I actually change colors in the pen. I'll do like 10 fillings on a single color just because to clean out that Con 70 converter is kind of a pain. So I will go longer periods of time with that particular pen. So I'll carry a vial of ink as kind of a backup. That way if I do find I'm running dry, oh, okay, well I've got a minute, let me refill it, bam, no problem. You know, I can do that in an office scenario even, you know, just I have my laptop bag, I carry it with a Ziploc bag with some samples of ink, bam, refill right there. I've refilled 1,000 times, so I know I can do it without spilling the vial. You know, so I'll do it on my desk or whatever. I don't really care. And then I'll just have a tissue or a paper towel or some napkin, whatever I have handy, kind of wipe the nib off and I'm good to go. You know, so it really all depends on what you're kind of going to do. But in general, the Metropolitan, it's a $15 pen. Even if you ruin the nib, it's not the end of the world. So really just kind of do what you want, you know.